Dear students, welcome back to my channel. In this class, let us discuss about the dielectrics. What do you know about dielectrics? So far you know about dielectric substance. So I used to say that whenever a dielectric substance having relative permittivity epsilon r, otherwise capital K, is introduced between the two plates of the parallel plate capacitor, its capacitance will increase, isn't it? Similarly, in the first chapter, whenever a dielectric substance having a relative permittivity epsilon r or capital K is introduced between the two charges, the force between the charges decreases by a factor epsilon r. Like that, I used to say that. See, in this class, let us know about, so what are those dielectrics? What are the properties of the dielectrics? How to convert a dielectric substance into a conductor? Okay, fine. See, first of all, dielectrics are basically the insulators which transmit the electrical effects without conducting the charges. Dielectrics means the dielectrics are the insulators or insulating substances which allow the electrical effects without conducting the charges. They can able to allow only the electrical effect, just like, so the fragrance of some flower called jasmine will be transmitted from one point to another point. In the same way, the electrical effects will be transferred from one plate to another plate, but actually they won't conduct the electrical charges. So that is the property of the dielectrics. How a dielectric substance is different from an insulator substance. So these are the insulators, so which allow the electrical effects to pass through them without actually conducting the electric charges. See, so examples for dielectrics are pure water, paper, mica, and so on. These are few examples for dielectrics. Usually dielectrics are of two types. Dielectrics or dielectric substances are of two types. The first type is polar dielectrics. Polar dielectrics. Second one, non-polar dielectrics. Non-polar dielectrics. What are polar and non-polar dielectrics? You may get it for 2 marks. What are polar and non-polar dielectrics? Please remember, actually polar dielectrics are made up of polar molecules. Just like you know about it, HCl, H2O and so on, where the center of positive and center of negative charges will not coincide. These are the dielectrics which are made up of polar molecules like HCl, H2O, etc., where the center of positive and the center of negative charge do not coincide. Therefore, they possess a non-zero electric dipole moment. That is, they possess some electric dipole moment. Okay. So these are polar dielectrics. If we come to non-polar dielectrics, so these are the dielectrics which are made up of non-polar molecules like H2, O2, CO2 and so on. Okay, the non-polar dielectrics are the dielectrics made up of non-polar molecules like H2, O2, CO2, etc. Here what happens, the center of positive charge and center of negative charge will coincide. Like this, they will come in this straight line. So the center of positive and negative charge will coincide. Hence they possess no electric dipole moment. Hence the electric dipole moment of non-polar dielectrics is 0. Please remember this. Dielectrics are the insulators which transmit the electrical effects without conducting the charges. Dielectrics are of two types, polar dielectrics and non-polar dielectrics. If we come to polar dielectrics, So these polar dielectrics are made up of polar molecules like HCl, H2O and so on. What are these polar molecules means? The molecules in which the center of positive and negative charge do not coincide. It will not coincide. Hence they possess some electric dipole moment, that is non-zero electric dipole moment. If we come to non-polar dielectrics, these are mainly made up of non-polar molecules like H2O2, CO2, etc., where the center of positive and negative charges coincide. Please remember. So HCl, we can also write this HCl like this. So this is Cl. So this is H. We know that H is plus, Cl is minus. Therefore, here we can expect the direction of electric dipole moment like this. That is from negative charge to positive charge, isn't it? Similarly, here we can write this. Sorry. H2 like this. So they align in same direction. Next, similarly CO2, we can write the CO2 like this. Here the centers of C and X will coincide. Therefore, they possess zero electric dipole moment. Okay. See. Next. So how does a polar dielectric or non-polar dielectric substance will behave in the presence of a uniform external electric field? Okay. See. First I will take the example of polar dielectrics. A polar dielectric in an external electric field. In an external electric field. Okay, see. So according to the property of polar dielectrics, these are the dielectrics made up of polar molecules which possess non-zero electric dipole moment, isn't it? Let us consider one such dielectric substance which may be HCl or H2O. So here when E is equal to 0, that is when there is no application of external electric field, here due to thermal agitation of the crystal or substance, the dipoles will arrange randomly like this. Therefore, each and every dipole is having a dipole moment in a particular direction. When we come to the concept of random arrangement, so whenever there is randomness, so we usually say P is equal to 0. Because of this random arrangement, why this random arrangement happens means that is due to thermal agitation, that is due to room temperature. So because there are plenty of dipoles arranged in this way, so randomly, therefore each and every dipole is having some non-zero electric dipole moment in different directions. See, take a look at these directions. So due to this arrangement, so the net electric dipole moment will be 0. Please remember. But when I apply, so this is in the absence of electric field is equal to 0. Absence of electric field. Suppose in the presence of electric field, what happens? In the presence of electric field, I will apply the electric field like this. So this is the direction of applied electric field, that is from positive to negative plate. Now, if you consider that dielectric substance, due to force of attraction, what happens? So all the negative charges will align towards this positive plate. Similarly, all the positive charges will align towards the negative plate. See, due to force of attraction, the negative charges come here. So similarly, the positive charges due to repulsion, they will go like this, and here due to attraction, positive charges will come. Now take a look at the arrangement. It's a regular arrangement. Here we can expect the electric dipole moment in this direction. Hence, whenever a dielectric substance is subjected to strong electric field, so it will develop a net electric dipole moment in the direction of applied electric field. Please remember, see, whenever a dielectric substance, whether it is polar dielectric or non-polar dielectric, whenever it is subjected to a strong external electric fields, so it by itself it will develop the net electric dipole moment in the particular direction, that is in the direction of applied electric field. This phenomenon is called dielectric polarization. What? Dielectric polarization. You may get it for 1 mark. Define dielectric polarization, or what is dielectric polarization? What you write that? Dielectric polarization means whenever a dielectric substance is subjected to strong electric field, so it will develop a net electric dipole moment in the direction of applied electric field. This phenomenon is called dielectric polarization. Dielectric polarization, usually denoted by capital P. And we usually define this dielectric polarization as the ratio of net dipole moment developed per unit volume of the substance, dielectric substance. Actually, it's a phenomenon of getting or developing a net electric dipole moment by a dielectric substance whenever it is subjected to a strong electric field. Okay. So how to calculate the value of the this dielectric polarization means, so and we can also define in this way. So dielectric polarization can be defined as the net electric dipole moment developed per unit volume of the dielectric substance whenever it is subjected to strong electric field. Please remember, so it's a purely vector quantity, which is, that is dielectric polarization, and the direction of this dielectric polarization is along the direction of small p. That is nothing but the direction of p is along the direction of applied electric field, because it develops the electric dipole moment in the direction of electric field only. Okay, say I will tell you one more concept. So this electric dipole moment is directly proportional to what? This electric field strength we have applied. Okay, let us discuss about it later. Now I will tell you one more concept. Similarly, as we observed the development of electric dipole moment in case of polar dielectric whenever it is subjected to strong electric field. So in case of non-polar also, in case of non-polar dielectrics, here initially, even in the absence of electric field, because of the random arrangement, here also we can say that the net electric dipole moment is 0. Here P is equal to 0 when E is equal to 0. But whenever this non-polar dielectric is subjected to strong electric field, like this, due to force of attraction, as I said earlier, what happens? The negative charge will come and the positive charge due to repulsion it will go away. Similarly here, due to attraction the negative charges will come to left side, positive charge will come to the right side, that is towards negative plate. Here the direction of applied electric field is along positive x-axis, and the development of electric dipole moment is also in the direction of electric field. In this way, whenever the dielectric substances are subjected to strong electric fields, so they themselves get a net electric dipole moment in the direction of applied electric field. This beautiful phenomenon is called dielectric polarization, and it can be defined as the electric dipole moment developed per unit volume of the substance whenever the substance is subjected to strong electric fields. Okay, please remember. So for 1 or 2 mark you may get it. Okay. So does the dielectric polarization a scalar or vector means? It's a purely vector. The direction of P is along the direction of E. Okay. Next. So I usually said that actually in my last class I have said that C air, that is the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So when there is air in between two plates, it is given by epsilon naught A over D. Similarly, when the air is replaced by some other dielectric substances, then it becomes C medium is equal to epsilon naught A over D. It can also be written as epsilon naught times C air. Therefore, C medium is equal to epsilon, otherwise capital K, times C air. What does it mean actually? Whenever air in the gap of two plates of the parallel plate capacitor is replaced by a dielectric substance having dielectric constant epsilon r or capital K, then the capacitance will be increased by the factor epsilon r, isn't it? So it is mathematically okay. How can we understand it practically? Means, see, let us consider a dielectric substance placed between two plates of the parallel plate capacitor. So as we know well about parallel plate capacitors, so it consists of two parallel plates, out of which one is positive, another one is negative. Actually, one is insulated, other one is grounded, like that we used to say. Whenever we charge it, then only we can expect positive and negative charges. Okay. To show that C medium is equal to epsilon r times C air. That is, capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor can be increased by introducing a dielectric substance in the gap of that parallel plate capacitor. How to understand this in practical means, see, as I said in the earlier cases, here also what happens, whenever a dielectric substance is placed between two positive and negative plates here like this, so they will develop a net electric a dipole moment in the direction of a applied electric field. See, this is E external. This is the applied external electric field, which is a uniform one. Now, what happens here? The dipoles will arrange themselves like this. Due to force of attraction, all the negative charges in the dipoles, they come towards this positive plate. All the positive charges will come towards this negative plate. This is very, very simple concept. Next, due to induction effects, what happens? Here positive charges come. Here also we can expect the positive charges, and remaining space will be filled with the negative charges. They themselves arrange like this, and the development of electric dipole moment will be along this direction only, isn't it? But here now I won't speak about electric dipole moment because you know it already. I will speak with one more concept, the internal electric field concept. See, take a look. Here, what happens? In the first column of the dielectrics, the positive charges of this first column will be cancelled with the negative charges of the second column. It means the effect of these negative charges will be destroyed by the effect of positive charges. Similarly here, the effect of the negative charges present in the third column will be destroyed by the positive charges present in the second column. As a result, there is a pair of uncancelled negative and positive charges are there. Okay. Due to that, what happens? Internally, an electric field will be developed from this positive charge to negative charge like this. This is E internal. Okay. What happened here? The positive charges present in the first column cancels the effect of negative charges present in the second column. Similarly, the positive charges present in the second column destroys the effect of negative charges present in the third column. As a result, there are only uncancelled positive and negative charges like this. Minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus inside the crystal. As a result, what happens? They develop a net electric field that is called E internal in the direction opposite to the E external direction. As a result, what happens? These all are theory wording sentences you should write. Okay. As a result, what happens? The net electric field decreases. Once the electric field value decreases, because of this equation E is equal to V by D. As E decreases, V also decreases because E is directly proportional to V. Okay. Finally, we know that capacitance is given by charge by potential. Here what happened? V decreased. Once the V decreases, capacitance increases. In this way, practically one can understand how can we increase the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor by introducing a dielectric substance in the gap. Okay, what happens initially? As soon as we switch on this electric field, so the dipoles will arrange themselves in a regular manner. So here what happens? The positive charges and negative charges will cancel. As a result, they develop a net electric field, internal electric field in the direction opposite to the applied electric field. As a result, the net electric field decreases. Once the electric field decreases, electric potential also decreases. If potential decreases, capacitance will increase. In this way, we can say that C medium is equal to epsilon r times C air. What does it mean actually? Capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor increases soon after the introduction of dielectric substance in the gap of two plates of the capacitor. Okay? Next, the final concept of this chapter is dielectric breakdown and dielectric strength. Dielectric breakdown. These are definitions. What is this dielectric breakdown? Please remember, whenever a dielectric substance is subjected to strong electric field, what happens? The electrons get detached from the parent atom. Okay, like that. And they will become very free. Hence, a dielectric substance starts behaving like a conductor. This phenomenon is called dielectric breakdown. Please remember, whenever a dielectric substance is subjected to strong electric field, so the electrons get detached from the parent atom and they become free. Hence, a dielectric substance starts behaving like a conductor. This phenomenon is called dielectric breakdown. Similarly, dielectric strength. Dielectric strength. It is an important thing. Dielectric strength means, just now I said, so if we apply strong electric field, then a dielectric substance will convert into a conductor, isn't it? Up to maximum, up to which value of electric field we can give that electric field to a dielectric substance so that it won't convert into conductor. Up to which that threshold is said to be dielectric strength. Dielectric strength means it is the maximum value of electric intensity that can be given to a dielectric substance without dielectric breakdown. Okay, the maximum value of electric field strength, so that is just required in order to give to a dielectric substance without forming dielectric breakdown. That threshold is said to be dielectric strength. That is dielectric strength for air at standard temperature and pressure. It is given by 3 into 10 power 6 volt per meter. It means up to which you can able to give the electric intensity or electric field to air. So till this value, air remain as dielectric. After when the value of electric field exceeds this value, even the air converts into conductor. Okay, ionization will happen. Please remember, dielectric breakdown means whenever a dielectric substance is subjected to strong electric field, so the electrons get detached from the parent atoms and they become free. Hence, if a substance is having free electrons, means it is nothing but a conductor. The dielectric starts behaving like a conductor. This phenomenon is called dielectric breakdown. And the final concept, dielectric strength. It says that it is the maximum value of electric field strength, so which can be applied to a dielectric substance without forming dielectric breakdown or without causing dielectric breakdown. For air at a standard temperature and pressure, it is given by 3 into 10 power 6 volt per meter, otherwise Newton per coulomb. Okay, so that's it from chapter number 2, electric potential and capacitance. So in our next class, let's go to the third chapter, which is a very important chapter, that is current electricity. So maximum marks in your second year PUC syllabus will come from that third chapter, current electricity. Okay, anyhow, so thanks for watching. In the next class, so let's start current electricity. Thank you.